So you want to know how to increase shoulder mobility, specifically shoulder extension, and create end range strength in that really difficult range to achieve. Well, in this video, I'm going to teach you how to do it so that you can nail those awesome calisthenics and gymnastics skills.
We are the gym that teaches people how to move instead of just exercise, because we believe that health is about performance, not just body image.
Hi, in case we haven't met, my name is Rad Burmeister, co-founder of Unity Gym and the Unified Movement System, or UMS, where we take driven people and turn them into superhumans. The way we get such amazing results with our members is that we've created a program that has a balance between strength and flexibility. If you want to know how we do that, you can get started by downloading the free flexibility blueprint. There's a link in the description of this video. This is one of the biggest problems that people have. A lot of people have really big, strong muscles that create shoulder extension, which is mainly the lats and the triceps, so that's going to pull your arms back here, but they have poor end range strength, so that's what we're going to teach you how to fix. And it all starts with a good warm-up. So Richard's going to get down on the ground and do an exercise called the tabletop. So whilst he's doing a couple of reps, I'll just let you know Richard has already done a basic shoulder warm-up to prepare him for this. If you don't know how to do that, you can click this link up here and that'll take you to one of our videos where we teach you how to do that. So Richie, just do a couple of reps. So he's going to push his hips up, he's retracting his shoulders, and then he comes down. So retracting his shoulders means he's pulling his shoulder blades back towards the spine, so he's not letting his shoulders protract and come forward. He's also not letting his shoulders elevate, so he's depressing and retracting, pushing hard through his arms. His legs are assisting, but he's trying to create as much of this movement as he can with his arms, okay? So that's called the tabletop. The next exercise we're going to do is the tabletop walk. So from here, he's going to come up and just slowly walk forward. So this is a little bit more challenging, okay, but it's also a really good way to warm up for this workout. And then we can go backwards, of course. Okay, so you can do this for a lot longer than what Richard's doing. You could cover, try and cover 20 or 30 meters and then come back the other way. It's a really good way to warm up. Thanks, Richard. And now we're going to move into the two movements that we're going to do for this workout. Now that we're into the workout, there's two components to this workout that you're going to do. And stick around to the end because we're going to show you some beginner movements as well. What we're about to show you now does require a basic level of strength and flexibility to be able to do, and I totally understand that this isn't for an absolute beginner. So the first exercise is the German hang. This is the flexibility component. A lot of people like to say mobility, but it's a misunderstanding of what the two are. Mobility is just an umbrella term that refers to anything that takes your joints through their full range of motion, whereas stretching is a whole bunch of different techniques that are used to increase the flexibility of your muscles with the purpose of increasing mobility. So it's a misunderstood thing. I mean, honestly, you could call this mobility or flexibility. It's totally fine. So the idea is Richard's going to jump up here, okay, on the bar, and then he's going to pull himself through. This is called a skin the cat. But at the end of the movement, when he hangs here, this is called a German hang, and he's going to hold for 15 seconds. So I'll time it for you, Richie. Okay, he's protracting his shoulders, which means he's pulling them forward. That's already 5 seconds. Coming up to 10. When you finish, I want you to circle back, Richie, if you can. And that's 15, thank you, come back. Perfect, okay. You can drop, but I don't like people to drop because you can bang your arms on the way down and it's just not good practice. So you want to hold that for about 15 seconds is a good time to be able to do it. And now we're going to move on to the strength component. Now we're into the second exercise for this workout, which is the strength component. We've just done the flexibility component, which is stretching the muscles that are going to restrict shoulder extension, which are mostly the pecs, the biceps, and the anterior deltoid. So now we're going to be strengthening the muscles that pull you into shoulder extension, which is mostly the lats and the triceps. Now, this is called the behind the back pullovers. So Richard's just going to do 3 reps. There's 3 positions. Each position you hold for 1 second. And the number one thing you want to think of here is retracting the scapula and keeping your spine as straight as you can when you do the position. So let's go, Richie. So that's 1, and then he goes over, 2, and then he comes back to the first one, 3, and then relax. That's 1 rep. Then 2. Now, as he does this second rep, I'm going to explain what he does on this last rep. The last rep you hold for 10 seconds in each position. So watch this. Back to the first position. We're going to do it on this rep. Here we go. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000, 6, 1,000, 7, 1,000, 8, 1,000, 9, 1,000, 10, 1,000. Over to the next one. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, pulling as far as he can. 6, 7, 8, 9, and now back to the last one. This is the hard part. 1, 2, 3, retracting the scapula. 5, pulling up as hard as he can. 7, 8, 9, 10, and relax. Thanks, Richie, you can put that down. So that is a hell of a lot harder than what it looks like. You want to be really focusing on the cues that I've given you, and you want to be aiming for between 8 to 15 reps. Now what I mean by that is you need to choose a weight that you can do 8 reps on. For some of you it's going to be a dowel rod. That's all you'll be able to do. Richard had a 2 kilo weight on here, and you can increase the weight slowly, bit by bit. And the idea is that you first choose a weight that you can do about 8 reps on, and you work your way up to doing 15 reps on the same weight. Once you can get to 15, you increase the weight and then repeat that process over again, and that's progressive overload. Here's a really good regression for those of you that can't do a full skin the cat, which is quite a challenging movement. So if you fall into that category, what you want to do is grab some gymnastics rings, roughly about shoulder height or chest height, as Richard's got it there, and he's just going to bring his arms back around behind him and get into that German hang position, and then from here he's still got his feet on the ground, so it's nice and gentle, and what he can do is just go right down until he's down on his toes and transition the weight into his arms. Now of course, if you want to make this a little bit more aggressive, you can bring the rings higher, but you can see this is a much more gentle way of doing that German hang for those of you that struggle. Now we're on to the stretching component, and we're going to start with some more basic stretches and finish with a more advanced stretch. There's a reason why we've left the stretches to the end of this video, because you should be doing it at the end of your workout. You shouldn't be doing passive stretching before you do any strength training at all. And the German hang that we've done, that is not passive stretching, that's loaded stretching. So when you go into that German hang position and protract the shoulders, you're actively loading the muscles up, and it's called it's a progressive loaded stretch, okay? So from here, Richard's gonna put his arm up in a doorway, or again, like this could be a doorway if you wanted, or against a rack like this, and then he's gonna twist against the stretch like that. So we're just stretching through the pecs, the pec major and the pec minor. The second one he's going to do is bring the arm a tiny bit higher, and now what he's gonna do is push his body forward. So you're not twisting now, you're creating like a shearing force, where if this is the humerus in the ball and socket of the shoulder, the first one you're trying to stretch by doing that, the second one you're trying to stretch by doing this, okay? So really just leaning into it like that. And the last one that we're going to do, sorry, the next one, not the last one, is for the deltoids. You can put your hand out to the side like this, Richie, and just as long as the shoulder stays depressed, we're just gonna rotate against it here, and you'll feel it in the deltoids at the front there, okay? And then the last, the next one we're gonna do is the bicep stretch. So you're gonna come up to a 45-degree angle, turn your hand this way, okay? So now it's this part of the hand that's on the object that's pulling you back, the doorway or the rack here. And from here, he's just gonna twist against, and you'll feel it in your biceps. Sometimes you can get a tingling sensation right down to the fingers. Don't be alarmed with that. That's the radial nerve. So because the radial nerve is getting pulled right to the end of its limits here, so it's pretty normal that some of you can feel that. If it causes major discomfort, don't do the stretch. Go and see a doctor or a physical therapist or a physician and get checked out. And besides that, make sure that all of these stretches are done progressively. You don't want to be pushing yourself. Whenever you do stretching, whenever you do any of this stuff, to be honest, it should be progressive, and you should be looking at a long plan to increase your flexibility and your end range strength in shoulder extension. The last stretch that we're going to do today is the seated shoulder extension. So Richard's going to start like this. The closer your hands are together, the harder it is. And he's just going to wiggle his body forward like this until he gets as far as he can, but be safe. Don't go to a point where you're really hurting yourself. Remember, the closer your hands are together, the more intense the stretch is going to be, which means the more advanced it's going to be. So for those of you that are beginners, you can have your hands a little bit wider. Thanks for watching our video. If you like this content, consider subscribing to our channel, and make sure you click the notification bell so you get notified when we post new videos. We post videos like this weekly, and we also have a daily, Monday to Friday, live TV show that we call Unity V. And if you have any questions or anything that you would like us to make, please leave a comment on this video and we will endeavor to make whatever video you request. If we get anything that has a little bit of interest from our audience, then we always make a video on it. So get your questions in and we'll try to help you out as much as we can. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.